Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
I'm Greg Lloyd, and Amanda and I would like to thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30 on YouTube.
Summer-like thunderstorms popping up across the mid-state today, and meteorologist Ryan Miranda joins us now. Ryan, you say the heat and humidity isn't here all week?
The first day of many that it's going to feel like summer. This was this live look out over Macon at about 4:45. It was a blinding rain. It looks like the rain was almost moving sideways, but we now have cooled down to 79 degrees. It's just amazing what a little bit of rain can do on those temperatures. We were into the 90s earlier today, but I am still tracking this severe thunderstorm warning that has been continuing to move southwest. This is for portions of Houston, Twiggs and Bleckley County. This is for damaging winds, potentially up to about 60 miles per hour, and quarter-size hail could be falling. So a lot of lightning strikes right now just south of Jeffersonville. Warner Robins also hitting with a lot of that rain, but you're not in the severe thunderstorm warning. This storm is moving south and east further into Bleckley County here over the next 15 minutes or so, but it is pretty warm out there. Now we're getting some rain-cooled temperatures, 79 in Macon, but 88 in Vienna, still 90 degrees in Wrightsville, the first 90-degree day of 2023, and also those dew points are into the 70s, so it's very sticky out there, and that's why we can get a lot of downpours quickly. Whether we're stuck into the summertime pattern, if we're headed back into spring, I'll break it all down for you coming up in your full forecast.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Now is a great time to download the WGXA weather app if you don't have it. Ryan is back in less than 20 minutes, and he'll have your complete 10-day forecast for you. Our top story tonight, it was a violent start to the week for Houston County, leaving one man dead and 3 people shot. Now this all happening within the last 24 hours.
Carlos Stevens has been in Houston County all day working to see if there are any leads on suspects in the 3 cases and files this report for us.
A violent start to the week in Houston County. 2 shootings and a fatal stabbing in less than 24 hours. Tonight, we're walking you through each situation and hearing from neighbors as the investigations continue. The first shooting happened on Harley Avenue right before 6:30 Monday evening. Both shooting victims had already driven themselves to the hospital. One shot in the chest and leg, the other shot in his head and abdomen. A nearby neighbor told us off camera she's not surprised.
This area is very scary. There are shooting, drugs.
Investigators say charges are pending in this case. Less than 2 hours later, it was a stabbing that had officers busy. Investigators were called to Houston Medical Center's emergency room around 8 p.m. Right now, we know a woman stabbed a man with a pair of scissors in his knee at this storage unit on Green Street. He later died because of other health-related issues. Investigators say the two had a history of issues. She has not yet been charged.
Well, the charge will be determined as we complete the investigation, because there is a report she was not the aggressor in this case, and we've got to verify that before we go any further.
Not even 2 hours later, Houston County deputies were called to Sullivan Road where a 15-year-old was shot in the stomach. Investigators say he was shot by someone riding a bike. The suspect had a ski mask on. Investigators believe there was a short fight between the teen and the suspect before he was shot. The person on the bike is expected to face charges.
There'll be charges for aggravated assault and probably other charges related to the possession of the firearm.
Matt Moulton with the Houston County Sheriff's Office says they're noticing more teens getting their hands on guns. I asked if he believes the recent shootings are gang-related.
I do. Guns, drugs, and gangs all go together, and that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with young kids, 12 to 16 to 18 years old. Just about every one of them we deal with involve a firearm, and drugs are a part of that realm. So, I mean, we deal with that on a daily basis.
In other news, deputies say the man accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend at the Green Meadows Apartments is now behind bars after more than 4 days on the run. Bibb County deputies arrested 23-year-old Trayvon Walker this morning at a home on Dexter Avenue. He's facing murder and probation violation charges after deputies say he shot and killed 28-year-old Kanzania Owens during a domestic dispute on Friday of last week. And the Georgia Bureau of Investigations has made an arrest in an East Dublin murder case. Lawrence County deputies and East Dublin police officers found 22-year-old Erica Smith dead on Monday. They say the Warner Robins woman was stabbed to death on Soperton Avenue. After an investigation, 26-year-old Tahavian Dewberry was arrested in connection to that case. He's facing malice and felony murder, aggravated assault, and knife possession charges.
Residents continue raising neighborhood concerns to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office. Last night, people in Lizella showed up to share what affects them in West Bibb County. The complaints are similar to those all over Macon-Bibb. Problems with deputy response times, car break-ins, traffic issues, guns being shot at all hours of the night. Some residents say despite their attempts of seeing something and saying something, little if anything is being done by the sheriff's office when they do.
Call y'all 1,000 times. Y'all tell me nothing. All you gotta do is actually listen to it one time before you throw it off.
WGXA plans to meet with some of those residents this week to get a closer look at the issues and follow up with the sheriff's office for their plans to address those complaints with action.
In Dodge County, the middle and high schools were on lockdown after a threat to campus was reported today. In a Facebook post, Dodge County schools say a suspect is in custody, and thankfully no one was hurt during the incident. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office is working with the high school administration to investigate that threat. Tonight, we are learning more about the suspected gunman involved in a mass shooting at an outlet mall over the weekend.
It comes as calls grow for Congress to take action on gun reform. Casey Stiegel has more.
We are heartbroken over the 8 victims that were lost, the others who were wounded.
Multiple federal, state, and local agencies are investigating that deadly mass shooting in Allen, Texas on Saturday. Police say the 33-year-old suspected gunman used an assault-style weapon to fire into a crowd at an outlet mall. Additional guns and ammo were reportedly found in his car, and authorities have been combing through the suspect's social media looking for a possible motive.
We do know that he had neo-Nazi ideation. He had patches, he had tattoos, even his signature, verified that. That's one thing we do know.
2 sisters, as well as a security guard and an engineer, were killed. A couple and their 3-year-old boy are also among the dead. Their 6-year-old son was injured and hospitalized, the only survivor.
I'm praying for their families and I'm just very sorry.
Saturday's mass shooting was the second deadliest in the U.S. this year and the second in Texas in just over a week. It's once again sparking calls for Congress to pass an assault rifle ban.
When we have 200 mass shootings in less than 130 days, more than one a day, this is a crisis.
Still, others blame mental illness.
We have to recognize that we have a real mental health issue here in America. We have to start identifying how do we get support for these individuals.
Meanwhile, this outlet mall remains closed as the investigation continues. That is the latest from Allen, Texas. Casey Stiegel, Fox News.
Take a ride down Eisenhower Parkway in Macon, and you can't miss it. A giant construction site at the old Macon Mall.
Macon leaders enjoyed a field trip to the site today to get a checkup on the progress there, along with a few other projects as well. Our Brianna Cook went along for the ride and joins us live now. Brianna?
Greg and Amanda, we are just a year away from live music in what will be Georgia's second biggest amphitheater.
What used to be a parking lot here at the Macon Mall is now one big construction site. Bulldozers, cranes, and construction crews are here daily. It's all going to lead to a 12,000-seat amphitheater, the second largest in the state of Georgia. Local leaders got a first-hand look at the progress made in the recent months. The concept takes up a lot of space with the ability to seat thousands. Mayor Lester Miller says despite its size, the experience will still be very personal.
Allows us to have some bigger acts as well, but picked up some more space. That's one, most important thing. It's a large place, but it's also very intimate.
Commissioner Al Tillman says he was amazed with seeing the progress of the construction.
I've seen a few amphitheaters. This is just going to be state of the art. And I mean, it's just unbelievable.
The amphitheater will be right next to the Macon Mall, which is also getting an upgrade. And the mall will be a precinct for the Bibb County Sheriff's Office, along with a new Board of Elections, pickleball courts, and a new and improved courtroom. Miller says all the upgrades will bring more money and people to Macon.
We got the world's largest indoor pickleball mall in the world. That's something to be said. Bring a lot of outside dollars here. They know that we're going to have a state-of-the-art Board of Elections right inside. You never have to worry about what the weather's doing outside anymore if you go to vote. They know that we're putting all of our business departments under one central location with our inspection and fees, our planning and zoning.
Some have raised questions if taxpayer dollars will be used, but Miller says not to worry because the cost of the development is being paid with bonds.
We had a lot more interest than we had bonds available. We did about a $42 million bond, I believe. Urban Development Authority did that. So they were purchased on an open market. No tax dollars are used.
Miller says Macon will no longer be a place people just drive through. Once the upgrades are done, it will bring in more visitors.
Just a few of these businesses are going to have foot traffic of 30 to 40,000. That's a lot of people coming through here. We expect 255,000 in the first year just to visit the amphitheater. Pickleball is going to be another 30 to 40,000 on top of that.
Everything is expected to be finished by the new year. Reporting live in studio, Brianna Cook, WGXA News.
A group of Milledgeville businesses and community organizations are teaming up in hopes of helping city leaders in fixing the city's water systems. The Fix Our Water Now group is set to address the Milledgeville City Council tonight about the issues. The city and Baldwin County have been plagued by outages, which the group blames on inadequate infrastructure and poor leadership, with the issues happening for years. They say the reoccurring outages are costing business money and kids education, with schools at times having to close. The City Council meets in Milledgeville City Hall tonight at 6:30.
And in your education news, the Monroe County Board announces new updates on the county's new superintendent. Now, current superintendent, Dr. Mike Hickman, is retiring at the end of this school year after 30 years in education. Dr. Hickman has served as superintendent in Monroe County since 2015.
Today, the Board of Education is in executive session to look over plans for his replacement. So far, we don't know if they'll be making a decision tonight, but you can keep up with this story on air and online as we learn more. The end of the school year is almost here, which means for many schools, it's time to break out the yearbooks and remember all the good times. Now, not every student can enjoy traditional yearbooks, though, and that is where Mercer University comes in. The engineering department is once again creating 3D yearbooks for the graduating class at the Georgia Academy for the Blind. WGXA was there last year to catch the emotional gift giving. The Mercer students will be handing out the yearbooks this afternoon.
In your community, Visit Macon took some time to celebrate the people who make Macon such a great destination to visit. Medical staff, first responders, educators, and county employees were invited to the Welcome Center to be recognized for their hard work to keep Macon safe and welcoming to visitors. The president and CEO of Visit Macon says it's important to acknowledge the work that goes into the effort.
Tourism supports 4,300 jobs in Macon-Bibb County. So that's important for our friends and our neighbors and those that serve in those industries. But it's also important for us to recognize those that take care of our visitors, that take care of our community. And that's our first responders, our sheriff's deputies, our firefighters.
All the duties of my office.
Today was Public Service Appreciation Day. It's just one part of the overall National Travel and Tourism Week that Visit Macon is celebrating. You can head into our website to learn more about other planned activities to celebrate throughout the rest of the week.
Breaking news tonight, a jury in New York City has found former President Donald Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming a woman back in the 1990s.
It was also decided that Trump should pay $5 million in damages. Scott Thuman has the very latest and reaction from the former president.
Well, this happened very quickly. It was about a 3-week trial, yet it took the jury less than 3 hours to find Donald Trump liable for sexually abusing his accuser back in the mid-1990s. E. Jean Carroll alleged that Trump raped her in a department store dressing room one night. The jury rejected those specific claims of rape, but did say he sexually assaulted her and should pay almost $5 million in damages and for defamation. Trump did not attend the trial, and he refused to testify despite multiple opportunities, although he publicly claimed his innocence and did so in a taped deposition. He did, however, quickly respond Tuesday afternoon to the jury's decision on social media, writing, "I have absolutely no idea who this woman is. This verdict is a disgrace, a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time." Carroll's attorney saying right afterward, "We are very happy with the decision." Meanwhile, another question now, how much might this hurt his chances in the 2024 race? Trump has been accused of sexual misconduct by about 24 women, but this is the first time it's gone before a jury. Recent polling shows a majority of Americans believe Trump should face criminal charges in some of the multiple cases he faces, yet despite that, The same polls also had him up over President Biden by 7 points in a potential matchup. Either way, it is just more fodder for both his critics and his competition. And keep in mind, it was just over a month ago that Trump was indicted in New York for allegedly paying hush money leading up to the 2016 election to cover up an alleged affair with a former adult film star. In Washington, I'm Scott Thuman.
Thinking of owning an electric vehicle or already have one? Well, how you pay for charging up is changing. Governor Brian Kemp signed a bill into law that makes it so the cost of charging EVs is calculated by kilowatt per hour rather than how long the car is on the charger for. The change allows the state to now be eligible for $135 million in federal money to be used for building a statewide charging station network. The $216 fee for registering EVs will stay, and an excise tax will be added to charging. Most of the bill will not take effect until 2025.
Kemp also signed into law a bill that allows tractor trailers to carry more weight on highways. Trucks can now carry up to 88,000 pounds, but the only increase applies to trucks carrying agricultural products. The bill also includes stage penalties based on how much trucks are caught over the weight limit. Those who fought against the bill say heavier trucks mean less safe roads and could lead to more wear and tear on the highways.
And today was the first day of many that it felt like summer, with temperatures finally making it up into the 90s here in Macon. Currently, though, in Macon, we have had some rain, so it's much cooler now, 79 degrees. It's 86 right now in Butler, 86 in Eastman, 90 still in McRae and Mount Vernon, and 87 degrees in Sandersville. There is still a lot of humidity in the atmosphere that is giving us a feels like temperature. So it still feels like 90 degrees in Perry, 92 in Fort Valley, still feels like 94 in McRae, and also 90 in Milledgeville and Eatonton. So it not only looks like summer here with our temperatures, but it also looks like summer out on the radars. We've had a few pop-up storms, still tracking this storm that moved through Macon-Bibb County, through Twiggs County, now is mostly into Bleckley County. The severe thunderstorm warning is still in place for areas of Bleckley County until 6 p.m. This is for winds gusting up to about 60 miles per hour, and there could also be some quarter-sized hail that's falling. So still seeing a lot of that rain out there, really along Houston County and into Twiggs County, getting some of that rain, Warner Robins, Bonaire, now over Cary and towards Cochrane, getting that rain that's continuing to move southeast. Dudley also about to get hit with a little bit of some heavy downpours here over the next 15 minutes. But what a warm day it was. The warmest day so far this year in Macon. We made it up to 92 degrees. Sandersville was the winner so far, 93 for the high, 91 in Milledgeville. Dublin also made it into the 90s, a few 80s still across the board in Byron, Byronville, Vienna, and Warner Robins. Didn't quite make it up into the 90s today. For the rest of tonight, it'll be partly cloudy. We could have an isolated storm or two, but most of us will be dry. Overnight low, a very mild 65 degrees, getting ready for your Wednesday morning and planning out the weekend for Mom. On Friday, we have a few afternoon storms. It's not going to be as warm as it was today, 86 degrees for the high. On Saturday, though, we really begin to warm back up, mostly sunny. The humidity will start to creep up as well. On Sunday, for actual Mother's Day, looks to be the hottest day of the next 10, with the high of around 93 with some isolated storms around. It'll be like today, where it'll be very hit or miss with exactly who sees the rain. It won't be a washout by any means. For tomorrow, though, we get this backdoor cold front that arrives. That'll bring in some less humid air with more mild weather. We won't be into the 90s really until we get to the weekend, but the humidity likely will drop. And this front looks to stall out over us. Right now, the models are showing that the front kind of stalls out southwest of Macon over Americas and Cordele, but this could shift really any direction and see to kind of help with the lift to see some storms by Wednesday afternoon. We could see a little bit of some showers with that front that moves through. So in your 10-day forecast tomorrow, it'll be less humid with that backdoor cold front that comes through. A few showers in the evening with possibly some rumbles of thunder. 87 degrees for the high. On Thursday, it's a pretty comfortable day. 85 degrees right there at average with a mixture of clouds and sun. On Friday, we do start to have tick back up with the moisture and some showers around, a few afternoon showers, 86 degrees. And then we really warm up for Mother's Day weekend, mostly sunny and warm on Saturday, back into the 90s, a high of 90 degrees. We should stay dry on this day, but for Mother's Day, if you have any plans outside, it looks like the warmest day of the next 10, the high 93 degrees. We could get some pop-up showers and storms by the afternoon. Most of the day will be dry, though. On Monday, it'll be the same story, 92 degrees with some scattered thunderstorms. And next Tuesday, back into the upper 80s under partly cloudy skies. Lastly, here's your Harrison Body Shop Fish and Game forecast, peaks at 6 a.m. and 6:20 p.m.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Gary Thigpen, and again today I'm here at the Animal Rescue Foundation here in Milledgeville. I'm joined again today with Aline, and guess who we have today that we're showcasing?
So today we have Snow. Snow is a 10-year-old pit bull. He is heartworm negative, up to date on shots. This boy is really just looking for a place to live out the rest of his years. He's been with us for 3 of those years. Unfortunately, Snow is not dog friendly or cat friendly. He very much wants to be the king of his household.
But now he's not white, he's Snow. How did you go about getting the name with him being a different color?
So I think his previous owners maybe named him that ironically. He came in with that name, and he's such a good boy.
He is.
He really is.
All right, so if someone would like to adopt Snow, Aline, how would they go about doing that? He is trying to get a little energetic
He's
right
trying
now,
to
but it's
sit.
okay.
Yeah, but he does settle down. So Snow is, if you go to our website on animalrescuefoundation.org, and you go to click how to adopt, and you can fill out the application on our website, and we'll be in touch.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. Let's find Snow a good home today. Thank you so much, Aline.
Thank you.
You can get paid $1,000 and all you have to do is watch all 10 movies of the Fast and Furious franchise. Informational website Finance Buzz is offering this opportunity to someone who is willing to track the amount of car crashes in the movies.
Oh my.
The site wants to know whether crashes have gone up or down as the series progressed and the amount of damage caused by all the crashes. That includes the upcoming movie Fast X, which will be released on May 19th. Taking more than 20 hours of your schedule to watch the films is also a necessary qualification. Applications are open until May 19th on financebuzz.com. So, I just wonder, for those of us that have a full-time job, how do you, because we already work 40
You have
hours
so
a week.
much time in a day. You know, you sleep for 8. You
So-
work for 8, so you have 16, so you have another 8 hours of nothing.
I really don't have another 8 hours of nothing.
Yeah,
Do
I
you?
don't feel like I have
I really
another
don't
8
feel like that.
hours.
But you know what I'm thinking? You guys, couldn't they just look at the scripts and see how many crashes have been in there? So I don't get it.
Maybe. Do they write it?
Do you guys think you would do that? Because it's
Well, yeah,
not just
everything's
watching the
scripted.
movies. Like, you actually have to kind of do some thinking while you're watching it.
No, I don't.
Oh, maybe even crashes like in the background or something
Yeah.
like special effects.
Something like that. I don't really like Fast and Furious. I've never watched any of the movies, so.
Well, now I actually have, and I did
Have
like the
you?
Fast and the Furious.
Whoa,
Yeah.
no
I haven't
way.
watched all of them by a long shot.
What?
I have
don't
watched
believe that.
bits and pieces, but I don't think I don't know if it
You
was a really
guys,
thing.
all right, I'm gonna have you a Fast and Furious festival. We're gonna have to watch it. Well, that's all the time we have for. That's all the time we have for you right now.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.